Welcome back to Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the aftermath of the last video that I covered, where we talked about the raids that are happening in Chicago. And we specifically looked at one where there was chaos outside one of the facilities in Broadview, I believe. And in this video, we're going to be looking at some of the people whose families are showing up in front of that place, that detention center, to ask for answers, aka they just want to get their people out, their illegals out. And we got some anchor babies and others who are in front of the building here and whining about how it's so unfair and unjust that their illegal invader relatives got arrested and are slated for deportation.
NBC5 investigates, and we saw a flurry of activity outside of the ICE processing center in Broadview. Our cameras were there as immigration agents brought in several people who were arrested during today's operations.
All while families waited anxiously outside, hoping for answers about their loved ones. They told us they don't know where they are or...
Look at this girl. The worst place to carry a Mexican flag is in front of an ICE detention center or an immigration protest. Okay, you're trying to prove that you want to stay in our country and that you're an American or you want to be one. Waving the Mexican flag is literally the worst thing you can do. You have the freedom to do it, but it looks really stupid. And people who are watching that, Americans who are watching that, are not going to be on your side. Okay. And you can see this in like the Los Angeles protests where they're always waving Mexican flags and other foreign flags. That is not a good place to do it. If you want to do it in your house, you have the freedom to do that and nobody's going to stop you. But if you're going to do it at an immigration rally, that's a very bad idea. Okay. You should be waving the flag of the country you want to stay in, not the country that your ancestors came from. If you love that country so much, you can always go back. Okay, nobody's stopping you.
Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly has been looking into this. He joins us with more. Bennett?
Yeah, Marion and Stefan, we've heard from several family members who seem to be running into hurdles when it comes to obtaining information about their loved ones or their whereabouts. We've also asked for information from DHS and ICE, and we don't know the total number of people arrested here in Chicago or how many have been deported. What we do know that we've seen data showing those numbers increasing in recent months.
It's exhausting.
We first introduced you to Giselle Maldonado Wednesday. She came here to the ICE processing center looking for information on her uncles, Eder Nicholas Jimenez Barrios and Gabriel Soto Rivera. The Department of Homeland Security featured Soto Rivera in a press release of the so-called worst of the worst arrests. The Trump administration has said that the increased enforcement efforts here in Chicago are in part meant to address crime. And while DHS says Soto Rivera was arrested by Chicago police in 2010 for domestic battery, our search of court records have so far turned up no record of that.
I think it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Since our
Yes, she said it's exhausting to deal with this process, and it's wrong. First of all, it is the most right thing that has ever happened that your criminal relatives who broke into this country are getting dragged out of here. Okay. Second of all, if it's so exhausting, don't break in here in the first place. You're having to deal with this. I don't know if she's an anchor baby or what, but you're having to deal with this because your relatives broke the law and invaded a country that they have nothing to do with. This country was not built by a bunch of Mexicans. It was built by Anglo-Saxons and Nordic people from Northern Europe. But anyways, getting back to this is the most right thing that's ever happened. And the only wrong thing is that your relatives broke in here in the first place. Okay, look at the entitlement. After her relatives broke into this country, she has the temerity to accuse ICE and the US government of doing something not right, aka immoral, after we enforce our immigration laws and get the animals who invaded our country out of here. She has the temerity to say we're the ones who are doing something wrong after her relatives broke in here illegally. This is the kind of entitlement and uppityness that I cannot tolerate from these dirty immigrants.
No record of that.
I think it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Since our interview, Giselle says she's now learned both her uncles were deported back to Mexico. Since Trump took office again in January, data obtained by NBC shows there's been a huge increase in the number of people arrested and designated for what's called expedited removal. More than 2,000 cases in the month of June alone. We watched a steady traffic flow of unmarked cars and immigration agents bringing in even more people Thursday. And
from all the records I've seen so far, just in the last, couple of weeks in Chicago alone, 550 illegals have been arrested. That number is probably old by now that I'm reporting it, because that was like 2-3 days ago that I saw the number. So it's been a while. So it'll be like over 1,000 by the time that this month is over. Okay, so ICE is crushing it. and it's absolutely awesome.
Found more families telling us they're running into hurdles trying to obtain information.
We're losing people every day. Every day we're losing people.
This man told us
You're losing your people. My people are going to be better off when you are shipped out of here. We need to lose you too, bro. Okay, because you shouldn't be here. All right. As far as getting answers go, they just said that they're waiting for answers. The illegals know exactly why they're being deported. You want answers? Yeah, let me give you some answers. Your relatives broke into this country illegally without any permission. Nobody asked them to come. And now they're being shipped back to where they came from. Okay. As far as the status of where they are exactly, you'll get a phone call eventually telling you the status of their case. Okay. They will call you because all these detainees get a phone call. They get multiple phone calls to their lawyers, to their family. They knew the risk when they broke in here. ICE is telling them what's going on. They have no obligation to tell you. Okay. And you're going to find out eventually that they're exactly where they belong, which is back in their countries.
And these two women say their father, Rosalio Pelayo Salgado, is undocumented from Mexico and has lived here for more than 30 years.
It's unfair. It's not right.
Both women were born here and say their father was picked up September 10th at their home in Elgin, but they
Yeah, you're going to think it's way more unfair when you had to follow his illegal ass back to Mexico. When the Supreme Court gets rid of birthright citizenship, both of your asses will be headed back to Mexico. So wait for that. Tell me how unfair you think it is then. You will be able to be reunited with your dad then. You can actually do it right now. You can go back to Mexico yourself and be with your dad. But they don't want to, right? They want to stay here. This is why we need to get rid of birthright citizenship immediately, at least for these kind of people. Okay, birthright is for people like me. I have a birthright to be here. Okay, my family's been here for 15 generations. This is my land. Okay, all these other foreigners, anyone who's not white or black, foundational Americans, they don't have any birthrights here. We have birthrights. I believe in birthright, but not for tacos like this.
And has lived here for more than 30 years.
It's unfair. It's not right.
Both women were born here and say
your daddy's been breaking the law for 30 years, and now finally the law has fairly been applied to him. It is the most fair thing that's ever happened in this country.
Their father was picked up September 10th at their home in Elgin, but they've only spoken to him once and do not know when he'll be back in immigration court.
Like I just told you guys, they always give them a phone call. They just admitted that he got a phone call. So they know, the family knows exactly what's happening to them. Most of these people are liars who just want their illegals released into the public. That's not going to happen. Okay. You guys know exactly what's going on. They broke the law and they're being punished, and now you're crying about it with the Mexican flag on your back. Good job.
DHS also put out his photo, saying he had a history of 8 DUI arrests and other charges, including theft and a drug conviction. While our review did turn up a 2012 DUI conviction, we did not find the other charges.
We all make mistakes, but we also deserve a second chance to prove that we've bettered ourselves.
You don't deserve anything here. This is not your land. It's like me breaking into your house and telling you how, after I robbed you, that I deserve a second chance. Okay. How long will it be before you call the police because there's a lunatic in your house? Okay, you have no right to break into my land and tell me what to do and how you have second chances. You have nothing here coming to your feet. Shouldn't even be touching the land that George Washington built. Okay, this is not your country and you have no rights here.
Just anything in general, I think it's devastating, not only for us that we're, losing a father, but for other people too. They're losing a parent, a child, somebody.
They're not losing anything. They can always go back to those countries with your family. Nobody's stopping you. Okay, you just don't want to leave. So you're deciding to separate your own families. That's a sad day for you, but not for us. We are enforcing our laws.
Important to them.
Beyond families, we saw protesters, both for the increased enforcement operations.
Just kind of show my support for what these guys are doing. I think that they're getting a bad rap, especially from our governor and our mayor.
And those opposed to what's happening.
I just hope that people know, people in these targeted communities, that there are a lot of people like me out here that are extremely concerned and are not okay with this.
Yeah, are you okay with some Mexican breaking into your house and raping you? Because they've done that. Okay, Laken Riley and Rachel Moore and many women are dead because we let these people in. Okay, I have respect for her, okay, for obvious reasons. But please stop saying stupid things, okay? We're trying to protect you. and you're making it very difficult. Actually, she didn't say free them, so I appreciate that. She just said she's concerned, and she's being kind, like a white woman would, because white women are the kindest people around usually, and their bleeding hearts get them to do very dumb things sometimes because they're compassionate. There's a problem with white people overall. Actually, there's a reason we opened up our borders. Even white men think, oh no, it's all the white women's fault. No, it's your fault too. There were only three white women in Congress back in 1965 when we opened up our borders with that ridiculous Immigration Nationality Act. Okay, all of the white men, white liberals who believed, and some conservatives voted for that bill. Okay, to ruin our country and let all this happen. So all the people blaming white women, all the white men blaming the white women should self-reflect. We got a lot of blame our way too. Everybody's got their blame to share when it comes to this immigration thing, because all of us were bleeding heart idiots at one time or another.
DHS today for more information on the arrest and how many people have been detained in that facility, or how many have signed a waiver allowing for the deportation process to occur, which is another option the administration is using to speed up these removals. We are still waiting on a response.
Yeah, keep waiting, man. The government doesn't owe you any answers. The people who have any kind of rights are the people who are being deported, and they're being informed through paperwork exactly what's happening to them. There's nothing illegal happening here. Like I said, ICE does not owe the media or the families any answers. Zero. There's no legal obligation. Okay. They get a phone call so they can notify that they've been taken to whoever they want. They can call their lawyers. They can call many other people. They get phone calls from the detention facilities. Okay. And, but the process of what's happening to them is explained by the ICE agents or Homeland Security to the detainees. They're the ones who have rights, whatever limited rights they have. They don't have the rights of citizens, but they have the rights of detainees in ICE custody. And they're provided all the paperwork. They have to sign things off. What's happening is explained to them by ICE agents who speak Spanish, and they know exactly what's going on. So all this whining is for nothing. They just want the law to not be applied and for their illegal family members to be released. That's what they're really protesting for. That's what they're really asking for. Okay, because all these people have gotten their phone calls already, and so it's a bunch of nonsense. Your family members broke the law, and now they're paying the price. And it's rough sometimes because you're going to be separated from them. That's what happens when people break the law. But it's a sad day for you. These are all your problems. These people broke the law. You should talk to them. Don't be mad at ICE. Be mad at your relatives who broke the law. Okay, that's my message to all these people who are complaining. These are all your problems. And that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys in my next one.